Yo, yo, yo! And welcome to this edition of Owl Eyes on BASE Defi, the weekly show where we cover all things BASE Defi, DeFi yields, and learn about a new DeFi topic every week. Guys, if you enjoy the series, make sure you show some love and smash the retweet and let your friends know where you are, where the alpha is, and where the education flows. Now, without any further ado, let me pass it over to my wonderful, well-dripped co-host, Mr. Crypto Noah. How are you, my friend?
Man, per usual, can't complain, or I could, but it wouldn't do me any good. Now, I'm doing good, man. We've been having some cool events this week. We went out and posting like our free community flyers all over the city of San Francisco. So if you guys see us, scan that QR code, join our free community. I'm gonna comment that here in the show post. We had a few people join from last week's show, but for the moment that you guys all been waiting for, I'm not wearing some ETH Denver swag, but this is some ETH San Francisco swag. You got the painted ladies right here. You have the cable carts. You got the Ethereum logo. You got the Golden Gate Bridge. And this is a long sleeve. So this is a classic. I don't think it's anything on the back, but, figure I'd give ETH Denver a rest. How you doing, man? I see you. I see you in a new studio over there, man. Jesus Christ. My boy look like he's ready for big time.
Yeah, bro. I mean, after a year and a half of doing shows, I was like, you know what, I gotta up my game. So we just moved house. I think I actually showed you a picture of my previous studio. It was a paper straw studio, but you do what you got to do. And finally, now I got a bit more space, and I was like, you know what, I'm taking this seriously. So I got my fireside light in the back, the soundproofing, cameras, TVs, ready to rock and roll.
Dude, that's fire, man. Dude, you got to show them that picture of the old studio, man.
Well, if you want to flash it, like, I mean, you can drop the alpha. I'll make a post later.
Dedication. You see the dinosaur on the floor? My man got his son's dinosaur. He's like, Dad, can my dinosaur? Like, son, I'm recording. Give me a second.
Yeah, for real. My kids are like, Daddy, have you got yo work tonight? I'm like, yeah. I'm being consistent with it, but yeah, honestly, it's great to be in a new place, have a bit of extra space. But dude, I must say, one thing that people would love on this show is to see the swag, like see the drip, like who wore it best, who's got the best fits. And we're 11 episodes in, and I must say, for the first 4 or 5, I was flexing. I was feeling myself. I was like, yeah, I've got a bunch of merch. But before we started, it was a bit of a throwback. You're like, yo, you wore that one before. I was like, man, you busted. So I think I have to give props to you. Like 11 shows in, I'm out. I think I'm out of crypto swag. So I need to go to ETH Denver. I need to go to more events, and just like browse all of the swag tables. But yeah, today I'm rocking the Film 3 Festival. This was actually from San Fran. I think America does the best swag. I think that's what it is. I've only done 2 events in America, but yeah, that's where the swag is flowing.
Well, so guys, we got some cool stuff today. Per usual, stick around to the end of the show. We're going to cover liquidity pools, what moves we made. It's been another choppy week. We're in the midst of this whole government shutdown, which, it kind of put the Clarity Act on pause, which a lot of people were, waiting on. That's what's going to open up the tokenization gates, which I think could lead to another leg in the bull market. But today we're going to be talking about an infrastructure update called x402. And it's basically the protocol that's letting AI agents pay each other instantly using stablecoins without human interaction. So you have major infrastructure players like Cloudflare, Google, Coinbase already writing into their software SDKs. And I think this could be the plumbing for the next machine economy. So we're going to walk through how it works, what it means for base developers, anyone building agentic apps, and most importantly, because this is Owl Eyez on BASE DeFi, we're going to talk about how this could benefit DeFi on BASE. Basejunkie, you ready, man? You heard of x402?
I've heard about it, but I must say, I do love your deep dives into it because I always feel like I come away learning something.
Yep. Well, per usual, you guys get yourself a cup of coffee. We're going to dive into it. So to just start off what it is, X402, it's new, but it's not at the same time. It's a HTTP, and we're going to dive into what that is. It's a HTTP native chain agnostic payments protocol that's actually using the HTTP 402 payment required code, or whatever you want to call it. And it enables agents and services to request and receive instant on-chain stablecoin payments, which is going to power machine-to-machine micropayments and autonomous AI commerce, which is where the future is heading. So with early integrations from Base, Coinbase, Cloudflare, and other infrastructure vendors. So real quick, I just want to share my screen because this is actually in the Base docs. So this is docs.base.org, right? And it explains what it is, pretty much what we just said, right? Enables them to pay autonomously for services without subscriptions or API keys. You guys know how AI is today. If you go on Midjourney or use any other AI, it's a per use kind of payment. They do have subscription options as well, but it's a per use payment. So if you want your AI to like go, your AI agent to go do things for you using AI, it doesn't have to get the subscription. It can pay for exactly what it needs, right? And it has the benefits here, right? Transact without human intervention, only pay for services you actually use. Often requires just one middleware line, which is good because that means it's easy to set up. It's like a drag and drop. And then you have instant settlement. So let me just come back and stop sharing my screen, and we're going to dive in here. So first off, what is HTTP in simple terms for those of you who might not know what that is? So it stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And it's basically language that the internet uses so that your browser and your website can talk to each other, right? So when you type in a website like, google.com, your browser sends HTTP requests saying, hey, can I have this page? The website then sends back an HTTP response, which includes the page you asked for, a status code, right? So it's you can look at it to make it super simple. It's like the delivery system of the web. It's like a digital waiter taking your order and bringing back the food, right? No crypto involved, no payments involved, just ask and receive communication. Now, what is HTTP 402 and why is X402 a big deal? Okay, so like I said, this is new, but it's not at the same time. There's always been a status code called HTTP 402 payment required, but it was never used in the real world because we didn't have any way to send internet native payments until crypto. So it's almost like the funniest and best analogy I can give, and it kind of doesn't make sense. It's kind of like we have an appendix. It's like we don't need an appendix. Like people they rupture their appendix and they get it pulled out, and we still function. Maybe in 100 years, something's going to happen. We're going to figure out that we can actually use this appendix. This is kind of what this is like.
See, like in terms of analogies, another one that sort of comes to mind is was it Galileo who devised the helicopter? He drew pictures of a helicopter way before his time. I mean, was it Galileo? Maybe. Or no, it was Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh yeah.
Like he drew blueprints for a helicopter, and then was like, "What are you talking about?" But it was before his time, and then just hundreds of years later, it's like, oh, this like now we see it. Now the technology is here. Now we can actually implement these concepts.
Yeah, I like that analogy way better. That makes a lot more sense than my shitty appendix analogy.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe in 100 years, like we figure out what it's for.
Hey, maybe we'll be able to breathe underwater or something if we just focus on our belly. Anyway, so basically, this X402 revives and upgrades to HTTP 402, so we can actually use it, and it makes it so that a website, API, or AI agent can say, you can access this, but you have to pay first, right? Here's where to send the crypto without you having to do it. So then the user or AI agent pays in stable coins on chain, example, USDC on Base, and then the access is unlocked instantly. No credit card, no login, no subscription, no PayPal, right? So it's like the key elements is that it's going to use it for payments. It's chain agnostic, guys. So it can route payments via stable coins across multiple L1s and L2s. And then, that's going to become even more important as we step more into an omni-chain world. I just wrote an article on the Know It Owl Substack on the omni-chain versus modular war. I definitely recommend everyone give that a read. And then again, it's designed for agentic flows. So AI agents can pay APIs or other agents autonomously. Okay. So now, why does this matter? Why should we even care? We already talked about this is where the future is heading, but micropayments at web scale. So this x402 makes tiny per call payments cheap and frictionless, unlocking new monetization models for APIs, creators, and AI services, right? You have the agentic economy enablement. So these AI agents are going to be able to buy services, tools, compute, or data autonomously and instantly, enabling machine-to-machine commerce and new automation flows. Like we talk about OpenX AI and using these mini apps to do different things. It's going to empower these mini apps. It's going to empower platforms like Zora, these creator coins, to put different incentives and token gating behind your token. So this is kind of like the plumbing that's going to help connect things and make it more usable. And then you have the network effects from infrastructure partners. So early adoption by Cloudflare, Coinbase, and Google, right? They're all adding it to their software development kits so that developers are going to, build it so that people can use it. Okay. So we already talked about the creator micro tips and paywall content, IoT, talking to other machines. Let's talk about the risk, right? Because everything's a risk. So you have to worry about spam and economic DOS, right? So micropayments, they do reduce friction, but open attack vectors where malicious agents spam requests. So there's going to be a need for anti-abuse, rate limiting, and being able to determine what agents you should be paying, right? There's going to be some people losing money, and it's going to lead to people, correcting things. That's how technology works, right? Anytime there's a new innovation, it's innovation for good people, but it's also an opportunity for hackers as well. You're going to have to worry about UX edge cases. So payment failures, chain congestion, which won't be as much of a problem now that we have L2s and things like that. And then custody and settlement risk. So if it's chain agnostic and you rely on relayers or facilitators to convert or route payment gas, those operators must be trust minimized and secure. And then this is an important one, actually, the economic model. So who bears the gas, right? How are fees subsidized for tiny micropayments? The protocol is going to have to be designed so that it can handle these kinds of payments, because if you're paying for something on a per use basis, there might be a time where the gas fee that you're paying is more than what the service actually is. So there's going to be something that's going to have to be put in place for that. But, as things continue to scale, fees are going to get cheaper, even on, ETH mainnet. So now,
question here. So x402, you say it's chain agnostic. Is it EVM chain agnostic, or is it available on Solana? And when you talk about micropayments, like thinking back to like the Ethereum days, like how crazy the gas prices have gotten. Is it the rise of the L2s that has brought this to the forefront again? Do you even know what sort of instigated this recent revival of old tech with promising potential?
in terms of chain agnostic, I'd imagine it's chain agnostic anywhere because it works on Web 2, right? Google and Cloudflare are using it. And, Google has their AI agent. AI agents came from Web 2. That's most of the narratives that we know and love in crypto. They all start from big tech companies, right? Now, in terms of like the micropayments and things like that, I think these things are going to operate on L2 rails because that's where the execution happens, right? And then, all those transactions get rolled up and sent to the layer 1 so they can be all settled at once. So I think all of these are going to actually go into the roll-up transactions, because if it goes to the L1, it's just going to take up more block space. So yeah, I think L2s allow things like this to be possible.
Got it. Is it like in your opinion, do you think it is the L2s, or what do you think was the catalyst to bring this tech back to the surface?
I think it's just a part of the adoption cycle, man. Like, Paul Graham of Y Combinator, he writes these phenomenal essays about a whole bunch of different topics. But one of my favorite ones that he wrote was like how to spot and this is going to basically answer your question. I'm going to bring it all back. How do you spot early opportunities in like a new industry? Like, how do you know what's next? And he said that you want to look at technology, like all-purpose technology, like the internet, like blockchain. Is like a water dropping onto one place, and then it's splashing everywhere. Like the internet dropped, I forget what industry it affected first, probably marketing. And then it kind of splashed to everywhere, even like non-sexy industries like, oil refineries and manufacturing, right? They all have websites and use it to help with their distribution. That was the best thing about the internet, helping with distribution, not just marketing your shit online. So blockchain, the biggest thing is like it's a structured database, and it's a structured, more censorship secure database. And that's important because as a company, your biggest liability is your customer and company data. And this stuff's getting hacked all the time. So it makes sense why blockchain is an all-purpose technology as well, because it's also going to help with distribution and tokenization and increasing liquidity for products, etc. So he said that look at it as like a drop that affects everything, and the opportunities are on the edge. So like the guy who created Zoom, he was a developer, and he was like, oh, he just wanted to talk to his girlfriend who was overseas or something like that. And he was looking at the internet, and he was like, oh, what we need is a way to be able to like send packets of data across the internet. And that's what inspired him to create Zoom. So someone was probably looking at this and was just like, oh, we have this x402 thing. Like there needs to be, I don't know who created it. They probably were looking at it like, oh, there needs to be a way to actually send payments online. Oh, we have this crypto stuff. And they just kind of saw it as the next logical step. But the only way you're going to see that as the next logical step is to be on the edge where the water is splashing. And then what's needed next will be obvious. Like me and you can look at Zora or look at, tokenization or look at something in crypto that doesn't exist yet and be like, oh, it needs this, because we're kind of in the trenches on the leading edge. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, that definitely tracks.
Yeah. So now for the last part of this, how does this benefit DeFi on Base? Because this is a DeFi on Base show. So the first thing is that it makes machine-to-machine DeFi possible, right? So AI agents, bots, applications, IoT devices, they can pay each other in crypto automatically. So like, let's say, I don't know, an AI bot wants real-time financial data. The API returns x402 payment required. The bot automatically pays 3 cents in USDC on Base, and then data is unlocked instantly, right? You see things like that with Polymarket. So this is going to turn DeFi into an autonomous economy, not just a human economy, right? Number two, it's going to create new demand for stablecoins and transactional volume, especially with the Genius Act and banks issuing their own stablecoin. I can see banks using this, charging micropayments for services to book appointments or whatever it is. It's the adjacent possible to this is actually going to be crazy. So if x402 becomes a web standard, every API call, microservice, or AI agent could be using USDC on Base. More usage equals more fees, equals more on-chain activity, equals more revenue for Base sequencers, right? We already talked about the pay-per-use models. So DeFi tools will be able to charge per transaction. Data providers can charge per Oracle request, right? If you guys don't know what oracles are, Chainlink is the #1 Oracle provider, and Oracle basically connects off-chain and on-chain data. So that if you want to do like an on-chain weather application, you need to figure out what the weather is off-chain to put it on-chain, and the Oracle is like a bridge. So oracles, you have to do pulls on them, and they cost money, right? So you can charge per Oracle request. Yield platforms can charge per strategy execution. On-chain games can charge per move or item, right? So this kind of fractures the subscription model, and it benefits crypto native users who want fine-grained control. And honestly, it gives Base a huge position advantage because I do believe they're the first like crypto platform to integrate this. So they already market themselves as like the on-chain home for like the next billion users. But with this integration, the payment rail for AI apps and autonomous agents becomes a lot more clear. So if Base becomes the default chain for x402 payments, that's more developers deploying apps on Base. That's more stablecoin flows and fees. That's more integration with APIs, SaaS tools, agents, etc. more liquidity for base native DeFi protocols, right? So all of these things create some more demand for base apps. And then the last one, and probably the most important one, we were just talking about omni-chain. It makes crypto invisible, which is how mass adoption happened. So people won't use crypto. They'll just interact with apps that run on crypto rails behind the scene. Just like you browse the web, but you don't think about TCP/IP. You buy something, but don't think about Visa settlement layers. You send an email, but you don't think about SMTP. X402 is actually the same thing. Crypto becomes the invisible payment layer baked into the web, which is how the internet was originally designed. So if I had to describe this in one sentence, this is the final thing here. X402 turns the internet into a native, programmable, real-time payment network, and Base is positioning itself as the settlement layer for that future, which could massively grow DeFi liquidity, fees, and developer activity. So X402, what it do? I'm ready for you.
Boom. I mean, I think that was a perfect way to sort of segue it, to bring us home, to bring us back to Base DeFi. If Base is the settlement layer for all these X402 transactions, I mean, I've already started to talk to a few projects who are doing stuff with AI DeFi. I mean, for example, Banker is a huge one. Having the be able to speak in real time and ask the AI for market analysis and make these trades based on your reasoning. It's wow, actually, this is really powerful. Another project I spoke to is Beacon DeFi, also doing stuff with agents to do. We can ask and bringing AI agents into DeFi really seems like this is the start of something new, and I don't see it slowing down at all. So yeah. If Base really does position themselves, which I believe they wholeheartedly can be, a lot of transactions will be happening on Base as the agents work together. Yeah, I'm very curious and optimistic to what this means for liquidity in Base DeFi.
Yeah, only time will tell, but I just know that the confused mind always says no. I'm just wondering how the wallet situation is going to work. I don't know if they're going to Apple Pay already lets you connect USDC. So I think eventually I see a world where we have our bank account and our crypto wallet as one, and probably connected to our email, or even you know how right now you sign in with Google, sign in with your email. I think it's going to be a sign in with wallet kind of situation when you go to use the internet. And that seemed like what the Base app is trying to do. It's turning from a wallet to an app versus an app that integrates a wallet. They're starting with the wallet first. So I see a world where we have all of our bank accounts and crypto wallets as one. And, the bank is going to be custodying our USDC, just like they custody everything, our gold and everything, because people are going to be scared to lose their money. And there's going to be ad campaigns talking about the dangers of losing your money. They're going to make it seem like it affects your generations. I can already see it. And then that's going to make it a lot easier for people to pay online without having to go on a decentralized exchange and buy a crypto. You're going to be able to buy USDC and crypto right from your bank account. And then boom, it's just going to be as simple as just using your bank to do stuff. It's going to ask you how do you want to go about this action? I just want to pay for these many prompts or this many whatever. And then boom, this is how the internet was supposed to be. But it's crazy because people were super scared back in it. Bro, I remember, or I don't remember, I was researching it. When credit cards came out and debit cards and charge cards and all that, people were saying people aren't going to buy stuff online. People were so scared. But now it's the norm. So this is the type of stuff that is going to have our grandmothers using crypto online, because they're not going to know.
Yeah, I think that's it. People are always scared of change, and it reminds me of Jesse talking about, he was doing man on the street sort of interviews, and he was asking people hey, do you want to if I give you 10 USDC, do you want to set up do you go on chain for $10? And they're and as you said, a confused mind says no. they're like, nah, no, no, like you crazy man, on chain. I don't understand that. I'm scared of this new terminology, all this the friction stuff. But then changing the narrative and changing the message to say, hey, do you want to join a new social media where you get paid to post? Like, I understand those words. Like, sign
Exactly.
me up. I think mass adoption really comes when it's just integrated seamlessly and there's no friction points. It's just the new technology there happening in the back end, and as you said, that's how our grandmas are going to get on chain.
Yeah. No. Speaking of, yeah, I agree with you. Speaking of, like Zora, are you on the wait list for live streaming? I'm sure you are.
I think so. Yeah, I haven't really pushed too hard. I'm sure I mean, I think everyone's on the wait list if you've applied.
You just go on there and click like you're about to post, and it'll hit live stream, and you can hit. It'll just join the wait list. But dude, they're rolling out new features every day. So now, you know how like on Instagram you have like the circles to see who has a story live. Those circles on Zora represent people live streaming. And then also, I just saw when I logged in, I think it was today or yesterday. Now you can DM people, but the only way you can DM people is if you pay. Like if you buy like I think 10,000 of their creator coin first or something. So now like if people want to DM you, they have to pay. They have to buy some of your token, which is kind of cool. So
is that a flat 10K or is it like you set your price, kind of like in Telegram?
I forget. Let me go on the app and see if I can figure it out. But it was some round number. You have to buy that amount of their token. But everyone's token's pretty low right now, so it's just like, whatever. Let me see if I want to DM this person. Yeah, it says to message you need to hold at least 1 million of this person's token.
1 million. Okay. Let me see. I think I hold 1 million of some people's tokens. But I mean that's like 0.1%.
Yeah, it's a super small amount because it's 1 billion tokens for everyone, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
Guys, follow Know It Owls on Zora. Know It Owls, same KNOWITOWLZ. We put a lot of good content out there. Follow Basejunkie on Zora too.
No owls. I'm your number 2 holder, man.
Yeah,
Let's go. I own 0.15% supply, so
let's
that's
go.
that's 1.5 million. So I can slide on into those DMs.
Slide in there and just be like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, man. Like the DM part, that's pretty cool, man. Like I do think that they should change. Like you should be able to comment for free. I hope they change that. Like you should be able to comment for free because that just inspires interaction. I don't think you should have to pay to comment, but what do I know
I mean, to be honest though, like
about that?
so, someone made the counterpoint on that, and because I used to think about that, like why would I buy somebody's token? And it was another content creator who's looking to get like, interviews and stuff, and he said like I buy loads of people who inspire me. I buy lots of their tokens, and I comment on their posts because if you think about it, like the influencers who maybe have hundreds of tweets on their profile, if you're trying to get attention and you're trying to get an interview, you're not going to get seen. But on Zora, if you have to pay to post, it's only a fraction of people are going to be able to reach out to them. So if you buy 50 cents of a specific person's token, again and again and again and again, and you are commenting, they're going to see you because there's only going to be like 3 or 4 or 5 other comments, and then that's how you get visibility, and that takes you one step closer to being able to shoot your shot.
That's actually a good point. I agree with that. Speaking of Zora, did you ever hop back into your Zora pools, man? Let's look at some DeFi stuff here. I'm gonna go over my pools here.
So I have not jumped back into the Zora pools. I felt like, I mean, and do correct me if I'm wrong, because I have been wrong before. So, but I was planning to rotate some of my Zora earnings into some DeFi, but I felt like my Zora earnings kind of dried up a bit. I had like $250,000 dollars like volume traded on my token, and like maybe like 80% of that within the last month. I'm like, oh shit, like, I'm waking up to, like $100 a day, $200, $50, and I was like, okay, this is great. I'm gonna rotate this into DeFi. At the time, I was just rotating it into other creators, but then things started to like taper off, and it was like $10, $3, $5, and it's like, oh, hang on, what's going on here?
The
But
wave's gonna come back.
you think it'll come back? It'll come back.
Especially once the Clarity Act passes, Zora's gonna use that as a huge marketing thing. Like, you can legally launch your own token. Like, what if you can da 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 to grow your business? Like, dude, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back for sure.
I believe it. I believe it's too big to fail. To be honest, like with the support from Coinbase and Robinhood, I think they're going to do some incredible things.
And
So
by it being on Robinhood, bro, that just means institutions are going to be able to buy it, just like they would Instagram, because now it has a lot of liquidity, right? I think we explained liquidity on a few episodes back, but think of liquidity as like liquid, like water, right? And investors are like boats. Like me and Basejunkie, we're in there with our canoes or our speed boats. They're smaller boats, relatively speaking, and we can fit inside of these low liquidity pools. Picture it like a little pond or like a bay, right? But the institutions who have ships, they only like putting their ships in the ocean, because remember, when institutions are buying and selling things, they like to do it without being seen. So you need a lot of liquidity, and that's why ships stay in the ocean, because you can have multiple ships in the ocean and you can look far out and you can still be hidden. You can't fit your little ship inside of a bay or a pond or a lake, because it's going to hit the ground, it's going to get stuck, and you're not going to be able to get out of there, which translates to not being able to sell. So by Robinhood now listing Zora, it increased the liquidity, the height of water. So now ships can what do you call it? I'm not gonna say swim around, because boats don't swim, but a ship could they could glide in the water now. So that's actually a big thing. The liquidity increase is the best thing, because now they can make large buy and sell orders without moving the market too much and being able to get in and out when they want. So
did you see recently on Zora they changed the they changed the values of what you can actually get like on your wallet? So like previously for low liquidity tokens, it would show you this inflated number and it's like, oh, this is the value of it. Okay, but there's no liquidity, so you can't even get that price. So small anecdote, I remember when I started, I made one post and I saw you've made $120 in creator earnings. Oh, fantastic! Let me cash that out. And when I sold it, it said, "Congratulations, you got $40." I was like, "What the heck?" So because there was no liquidity to actually fulfill that $120, and it was leading to a lot of confusion in people. And obviously everyone likes to see bigger numbers. It's great to see, but then when you actually want to cash out, it's kind of a sour pill realization that it's not actually true.
yeah.
Did you see recently they just changed it to reflect the liquidity, so that the actual number reflects how much you can cash out?
No, where did they reflect that at? Do you have to hit the wallet thing? That's actually really good.
I mean, it's you still hold the same tokens. Everything's just worth less.
Got you. I didn't notice that. I did notice they have like the all-time high bar on there. They're always shipping, man. I like seeing that. They always, every couple days I log on, there is something new. It would be nice to like once you're on your page, to show how many people viewed your reel, kind of like on Instagram. That'd be nice to see. I feel like that'll inspire people to keep posting. And then also, man, I wanted to ask you, how like you make a post on there and it has like the ticker, where you can put like a ticker. You just put one word there, or is that for like a multiple hashtag kind of thing? Like, so like, for example, I'm gonna just take a picture, act like I'm a post of us, right? I go next, and you see right here where it says add ticker. Do you just put one word there, Or like, is that for like multiple hashtags?
I usually put one word there. Like, I mean, what would you? I mean, it's a ticker. It needs to, I don't think you can have spaces on that.
Yeah, that's what I do too. But I'm just wondering, like, what's the meta behind that? Because I'm sure they're gonna incorporate hashtags at some point. So I'm really just trying to get it. I've never been so early on a social media platform as I am to this and know what's going on. So I'm just trying to like figure stuff out here pretty quick. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, a few weeks ago when you pointed out that there was Zora listed as a blockchain, you know, that's one thing that really got me in, like, thinking, you know, perhaps down the line, maybe there will be a Zora L3. Who knows?
I think it will be, because what else? Like Zora is powering like the social media part of the base app, and I heard that they get like a piece of revenue on all that stuff. So it's something going on, man, and I'm sure they'll be revealing it soon.
Yeah. So okay, let's talk DeFi yields, because I
Yeah,
think
yeah. Here, let me show my Zora. Let me share my screen, and then let's talk about some of your pools too. So, boom, entire screen. All right. So if we go to Zora, it's down 9% today. It's 5 cents. My first time buying Zora was at 7 cents. So this is my like current Zora USDC range. And
wait,
then
sorry, we just lost your share screen.
oh, here, let me redo it.
But while you're pulling that up, I just see Hexagon Chris says, Crypto Noah, I have that same chakra through hang up on my wall.
Hey, great minds think alike, Chris. Yeah, so this is my Zora USDC. I had it to like here and here, but we went out of range, so I had to lower it. And this is good because now I'm earning fees on Zora while it's 5 cents, right? And I like being in the Zora USDC pool because when everything dropped, I had a good amount of USDC rewards, and I was able to take the USDC and buy more of like, what what I'm bullish on, what I want to hold. And then for my Zora ETH, this is my range here. It kind of went out for a while, but it's still in there, and I'm still bullish on Zora outperforming ETH, especially as like hoping this government shutdown comes to an end soon and like the Clarity Act can go and get passed, and that's just going to be bullish. But if I pull up my revert here, revert look like they just changed. Let me refresh this so we know we're dealing with current data. So my Zora ETH, 27 days, so almost a month I've been in this one. It's been in range. $1,200.73. No, $1,273.43. But you have to keep in mind, this is based on Zora and ETH dropping since I originally got into a pool. Zora and ETH are both down. But guys, this is kind of like dividends, right? If you're holding Apple and you're getting paid Apple shares and dividends, and Apple's dropping, yeah, the price of your stock and the price of your dividends dropping. But when things go back up, it's going to be the opposite. But it's even cooler here because when you get paid a dividend, it's like a percentage. Well, I think it actually is the same thing. Like if you get like a 1% dividend. No, yeah, I think it's a percentage. Like you get a dividend percentage on how many shares. I don't know if it's a dollar amount. I have to double check that, but I think it's how many shares. So you're like, let's say your dividend is 10 Apple shares a month. You get that no matter what the price is. But when you're providing liquidity and you're getting a percentage fee, you actually are, it's better because you're earning that token while it's at a cheaper price, if that makes sense, because it's a 1%, right? So 1% at one price and another price is two different values versus getting the same amount of stock, if that makes any sense. So that's been really good. And then this was the only pool that went out of range. So I've been in this one for just 2 days and 5 hours, right? I'm down on principal. I was at about 4K, so I'm down, but that's okay because I'm bullish on Zora. And I still have plenty room on my Zora USD chart for it to go back up and I get some impermanent gain. But in just 2 days or whatever it is, I've been able to make $56 while Zora has still been dropping. So yeah, 281% APR, 481% APR. So I'm making over 1% daily on this one. So all things considered, man, this thing isn't always going to go up and to the right. You never know when the big days are going to come, but I'm pretty sure that once the Clarity Act passes, Zora is going to go through the roof. So I want to stack up as much as I can before then. And then once they just open the base app to everyone, and now we have this x402 upgrade that's going to benefit Zora, right? Yeah, I'm bullish.
So why specifically do you think the x402 is going to help Zora?
So remember when we were talking about doing token gating on like different creator coins? You can say, hey, AI agent, I am Crypto Noah, and I'm trying to get my name out there, and I want to communicate with people on Zora who have this amount of following, right? And we just saw the thing that they have with their DMs, right? So I'm like, all right, go out and DM the top 20 influencers. In order to DM, you have to comment. So just comment, just comment like, oh man, I love your post. And then by me being able to comment one time, and I buy, 1 million of their tokens, now I can go and DM all of them at the same time. But I have to buy their token first. But instead of me having to manually do that, my AI agent can do that through the x402 integration. That's just one use case. So it might not help Zora as a platform. Well, actually it will, but just indirectly. It's going to increase Zora's utility for people who are basically using the platform for whatever they're using it for. Basically for marketing.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. So how's your pools looking, man? I know we were talking about you hopping in some. What you got over there?
Okay, so I actually closed one of my pools today. Now, sometimes I feel like an old dog with old tricks, but I got back into the golden pool, and that's one project I'm bullish on for the long term. But that one came out of range, quite a margin. So
Down or up? Probably down. Everything's been
down. Yeah, everything came down, and I just felt like we're so far out of range. Yeah, I think this was today's one. So I closed it here. I'm not sure if I can see where. Yeah, so look, here was max price was 4 million gold into 1 ETH. We're almost at 5 million. It's like, okay, we're not even close to recovering that position, like, for the time being. So I just pulled the liquidity, took the thing and made maybe like $30 in the week. No, maybe I made like $90 in the week because I took profits twice. And then the other one I've been doing is Nemesis. Now this one has actually been printing for me. I started that. It's unfortunate because these are V4s, so they don't show up on reverts.
You can always click, when you enter into a pool, you can always click for it to be a V3 position, and everything will be the same, except you'll be able to use revert, just future reference.
But if people are transacting on a V4 pool and I have liquidity in a V3, will I be collecting fees?
You're still going to collect fees. People are going to people don't pick which pool they transact in. That's the smart order routing. Most of the pools are still V3.
Okay.
I'm not in any V4 pools.
This is good to know. I mean, just for like, record keeping. But I had about $3,000. Maybe like 3,100. So I'm down on principal, but I was making 5% a day. I was making, like, from like a $3,000 position. I think it was maybe like $150 a day for a few days. I mean, I cashed out maybe like $400. Here we got $93 more. So yeah, I mean, this printed like 20-something% on the week, but we are out of range. So I wanted to get your thoughts, Crypto Noah. Like, do you think it's worth holding this position? You're waiting for us to go back into the range, or so like we're not so far out. We were in range earlier today. I can show you the charts. Or do you think it's worth setting up a new parameters to capture some of this chop?
Well, can you put in the range you have on there? Because you said it's out of range right now, Nemesis?
Yeah.
Can you put on
so the numbers are 402 to 778. That's the range. That's the range I've been in, capturing for a while now.
Throw on the 4-hour chart. Let's see how it looks on the 4-hour after you get your lines there. Yeah, honestly, how long have you been out of range?
So I mean, I went back into range. So look, this is 4 hour 2 days ago. I mean, like I was sitting comfortably in range for like these days. Been tapping maybe 2 days a little bit, but like the whole market was way down. Came back into range today, and we've just come out of range again.
I would adjust it. It looks like it's turning previous resistance into support. But like I say though, the younger a chart, the less weight you want to put on the fundamental analysis. But when you're providing liquidity, normally if I'm out of range for 6 hours, I'll rearrange it. But if it's like chopping near it, I might wait a day, sometimes two, once in a blue moon. But if it's like showing price action like that, I would just raise both of them a bit, just so I can be in range making money. Because yeah, you're gonna have impermanent loss and all that sometimes, whatever. But like I say, if you do this long term, eventually you're gonna make more than what you put in, and that should be the goal. So yeah, I would take those fees.
So
do whatever you want with them, like use some to buy some Zora or whatever, and then use the other half compound back in, and just I would hop into a new range if it were me. The line is pretty close to current price, and it looks like that is kind of forming a base there, and it could go up. That's ETH Nemesis. So if it goes up, that means ETH is doing better than Nemesis. What are you betting? Nemesis will outperform ETH?
Yeah.
So you're giving it room on the downside?
Yeah, I mean, like right now the price is what? Right now it's at 3.8. I mean, it's been.
Oh, that is very small. But remember, we thought the same thing with OpenXAI. If it were me, I would give it a little bit more room on the top, just in case it chops there, and you get some big candles outside of it. I would give it a little bit more room on the top, even though you think it's going to go down. Personally.
All right, so I'm going to go up to 899. Let's have a look at that. So I'll invert this again. 899. So I don't have a lot of ETH really. So 899. It looks almost the same.
Honestly, I would go to the top of those little candles. Like no,
like
not
here?
that high. A little more down. Yeah, I would go about right there.
995.
Yeah.
So tell me, so I have way more Nemesis than I have ETH like on this wallet. Do you think it's more profitable to set the parameters that are most desirable, and therefore stake or provide liquidity with less Nemesis, or do you think it's better to be providing as much as possible?
I don't look at it as like which one do I want to provide more liquidity in. I look at it as what range do I think is going to be the most in. And based off of this chart, those wicks keep going outside of it. Like I would even go a little bit higher. If I'm really thinking it's going to take off in any moment, that's when I would set up a tranching strategy, and I would do one really tight and I would do one wide so I can catch both. Because in your wide ranges, you'll get to capture more in impermanent gain, but not as much in yield, and vice versa on the tight ranges, more in yield, not as much as in permanent loss or gain. I just think by doing it super close, like those little wicks, that's just money that you're losing.
Yeah.
And right now, this thing is super small and new, so it's going to be pretty volatile. So it's like it's harder to control because you have less data to go off of.
I see this one question from Hexagon Chris. Do you want to answer this, and then maybe we wrap this up, and I'll finish setting up my new LP after the stream.
Yeah, he said, "Can I ask you guys a non-based question I have to ask because I'm trying to build a launch pad platform for chain." Yeah, go ahead, man. What's your question?
He asked this question maybe 20 minutes ago. Let's see.
Okay.
So
yeah, I didn't see it pop up on the screen.
Well, I need to click on it to say like show. So like if we go to the comments on like the far right, it has all the icons over there, and you can see comments. But dude, let's put a nice bow on this, and I'll set up this LP range afterwards. Trade some Nemesis for ETH, and in fact, I'm just gonna set up this. I'm just gonna do this pool, and then I'll just add some more afterwards.
Okay.
Maybe I'll start tranching, just so I can just have this at least
Working for
in a
you.
good range. Yeah, exactly, because sometimes I mean to do something directly afterwards, and then I'll go to bed.
Yeah, I know it's
It's-
late over there.
yeah. All right, dude. Well, I'm back in a pool, an active Nemesis and ETH pool. Let's see how we get on tomorrow. But Crypto, any final words or calls to action?
No, I would just say don't let the powers that be fool you. Put your blinders on. It's a story of adoption. I do still think we have more room to go. Global liquidity is increasing, interest rates are coming down around the world. And yeah, we've had the soup and salad, but now it's time for the meat and potatoes. So join our group, free community. We have the best forks and knives for you to eat. And hopefully we'll see you in there. That's it.
Amazing. All right, guys. We do host these shows every Wednesday night. This week we did it on Thursday because I was in Lisbon yesterday. But every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. UTC, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, but most importantly, stay based.